Welcome to Stellaris for Beginners. Whether or not you are a seasoned vet within the game with over 2,000 hours to your name, or you've just arrived from the Academy of Civilization and or Total War, well, there's always new stuff to learn, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. As of the 2.7 version of the game, which is what this tutorial is for, there is a reasonable amount of changes. Now, please be aware that as the game develops over the next few years, more changes will be applied, and, well, let's put it this way. This basically means that stuff is in flux. So if you're watching this video at some time in the future, some of the stuff may no longer be accurate. Please be aware of that. In addition, rather than talking about every single system separately, we're actually going to play for about 6 years and use all the systems that are supplied to us in a coherent way. Basically, one of the big things that is the problem with Stellaris is there are so many different systems within the game that basically are so interwoven with each other, you can't really explain them as separate entities. They are very much part of a coherent system, and because of that, a one-by-one system explanation would not be very useful. So instead, we're just going to play for a couple of years, and I will talk to you about my decision making, why certain things are done, as well as building up a stable economy for the start of the game, and from there onward you can basically go out there at the galaxy at large. Now please do be aware that the save game will be available for this, and also we are going to continue playing this after this video just to start to illustrate things like the galactic community or other items that are relevant, so maybe relics or something along those lines. This is an extended thing, and I would like you to be part of that journey. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments below. Let's get underway, shall we? What are we going to be talking about today? Well, we're going to play the first 6 years, as I have already mentioned, and there's a couple of things that we're going to need to do first before we unpause. First of all, there is the unpause button in the top right. We're not going to touch that at the moment because we have stuff to do. First of all, let's open up the outliner. Now, the outliner may be a little bit different from what you are used to. That is because I am running a mod called Tiny Outliner version 2. The link for that is in the description and will make your life a lot easier. The outliner that comes with the game may not necessarily be the most comprehensive one, or at least the most efficient one in terms of spacing, etc. So feel free to download this. There is no mechanical changes to the game. It just makes things a little bit more compact and easier to understand. So let's go ahead and select our construction ship from the outliner, and we are going to right click on it, and that will automatically take us to our construction ship, as it is somehow half inside of the station because Stellaris things. And what are we going to do with this construction ship? Well, we are going to collect some minerals. Right now we are producing plus 30 minerals a month, and while that may seem like a lot, we always need more minerals. So we're just going to go ahead here, right click on Ceres and build a mining station there, and the construction ship will start heading out there. And if we reselect it, for instance, you can see this nice little golden line going towards Ceres in order to get construction on its way. Then we're going to need to do something else. In the previous video, and if you haven't watched it and you have no idea what I'm about to talk about, feel free to go and refer to that one. It is only 40 minutes long, and it talks about the UI as well as some of the elements that are wherein. We're going to go ahead and go to consumer goods, clicking on that, and we're just going to sell them all off. Doesn't seem very logical, selling off all of our consumer goods, but there's a good reason behind that, because we need energy credits. We have plus 7 consumer goods anyway, and that right there is perfectly fine. The amount of resources that the game gives us at the start are more than enough to do the things that we want to do. And with this, we are going to go to our shipyard by right-clicking here, hitting towards the shipyard tab, and going to the sign ship option and building a sign ship. Now, in this particular case, the sign ship costs 75 alloys. Now, all ships are built with alloys, but it may be a bit strange to see 75. Why is it 75? In my game, it's 100. This has to do with a special modifier. The modifier that I'm talking about here is the modifier of our leader. Now, this is randomly rolled at the start of the game. You can have cheaper stations, you can have cheaper outposts, you can have cheaper science ships, etc. And that is all defined by the ruler trait. So in this particular case, we rolled a explorer bonus, which means that our science ships are 25% cheaper, which is normally 100, minus 25 is 75 alloys. We also get a bonus to mining minerals, which is why we're going to go and get more minerals. So yeah, let's close this screen and head to the galaxy map, because it is time to go out there and see what kind of vast mysteries the galaxy has for us in store. All right, so here is the local cluster. The galaxy itself, it is a cluster of stars. Whether or not you have decided to go for a ring galaxy or something with a little bit more arms, well, the sky is the limit. But for now, this little cluster to the south is far more important to us. Why is that so? Well, this cluster is called a constellation, and this constellation has two entrances, which is this system over here and this system over here. Now, we could go ahead and start surveying every single star in this particular area, but that wouldn't be particularly good. There are two schools of thought here. Either you go ahead and start surveying everything that is within reach, or you rush your choke nodes and start building towards those and leaving all the surrounding systems basically to themselves, because there could be anomalies in those systems, and we will touch upon those shortly. I personally prefer to go for the choke nodes themselves and leave all the other systems completely unsurveyed, and I will tell you shortly why that is, and that has to do with some of our edict system, the new edict system in 2.7. So we are going to go ahead and there's to go to our science ship, and there's two ways of doing this. We can select it on the galaxy map, or if we just quickly deselect here, we could just select the science ship over here. Now, our first goal is to go to this system and see what is inside. Now, what we can do here is we can go ahead and survey, or we can just travel. Science ships are the only ships that can go to systems that have not been explored or surveyed yet. Whether or not you are within sensor range, anything that is listed with these lines is within sensor range, but normal ships cannot go there because they don't know what's out there. Only science ships can. So please be aware of that. If you right click on one of these, you will find that there is a explore system or a survey system option. Right now, what we're going to do is we are going to survey this particular system by doing so, by right-clicking on the survey button. But there is a better way of doing this. We can go ahead and say, hey, you don't need to do that. Instead, we are going to go to the survey button on the bottom left for the science ship indicator, hit the shift key, and basically go onwards. So we have gotten our science ship now queued up. It's a standard queue system by using shift and queuing up those actions. Right now, we're only going to survey these two systems, and that may seem strange because we only have so many actions available to ourselves. We could easily set up this to be surveying this entire cluster, but we're not going to do that just yet. And now it is finally time to do that magical thing, and that is on pause. Wow. We've played for one whole day of in-game time. Isn't that exciting? Now, first of all, we're going to need to illustrate a couple things here. As our science ship is on its way, it will start moving to our next system. Now, we could continue onwards and play at normal speed, but that wouldn't be very fun because there isn't too much to do right now. So we're just going to hit the little plus button up here, or use the plus hotkey on our keyboards to advance our speed. And as you can see, the speed will very quickly start queuing up. And there we go. And our science ship has now arrived in Bernard's Star, a brand new system for us to survey, which is exactly what our science ship is going to be doing. At the same time, our second science ship has rolled off the factory floor. Isn't that exciting? More science ships to survey the galaxy with? I think that is very exciting, at least to me. Now, we could go out there and start looking at things, but that wouldn't be very useful unless we have a scientist on board of our ship. So we need to go and click the Assign Leader button, and we will end up on this screen, the screen where all of our leaders are. But considering they're all working on different things, we're just going to need to go ahead and recruit a new scientist. Now, there's all these options here. The best one that you can get is the Anomaly plus 10% bonus. So you could, for instance, just keep on hiring leaders until you get the leader that you want in this particular scenario. But considering our energy is only sitting at 308, we don't really have the money for that. So instead, what we're going to be doing is we are going to grab a leader that may be a little bit more useful for us in the long term. And that is this fine specimen over here. It's a expertise in computing. Now, you may think, hey, why don't you just do the survey speed one or the one that lives longer? There's a good reason for this, and this has to do with technology. We'll get to that soon. So we're actually going to hire this expertise in computer person, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to survey this system and go towards the choke node. So right now we are surveying this system, this system, this system, and this system. We're going to leave all the other ones for now. We're not going to even touch those. Those are not interesting to us at all. Don't you worry, it will all make sense soon. We're just going to unpause that, and we're going to have a look at our science ship as it will move through this solar system and continue to survey every single planet that is here. So for instance, there is a barren world over here. Barren worlds are effectively useless unless they have resources on them. We can't terraform them, for instance. And it looks like our construction ship is done as well. And what do you know? We already have 124 minerals in the bank. Now, we could go ahead and send them off to Jupiter to do some more building. And, get some more energy by getting a mining site on Jupiter. Would we want to do that? It is 100 minerals. It is 3 months. But would we want to do that? That is the question. This is decision-making time. Even at the very start of the game, we're only 5 months in. Decisions are really important because we're going to need to take a look at our empire capital. Welcome to Industrial Development 101. Yes, that's right. We currently have 0 jobs available, and we also have no unemployment. That means that POPs are growing, and there's no jobs available for them. And that right there is a problem. We can take a quick look here at when that POP is going to be done by taking a look at the population tab. And as you can see, this POP will grow in quite some time. At least, I want to say 20 to 30 months or so. So it's 100. Yeah, okay. So it's quite some time away, which means that by the time our resources, by the time that POP becomes available, this planet will already have paid back for its energy cost. But I don't want to do that. Instead, I want to build a research station. Why? Because there is engineering research in here. And that's good because we want research. Research is king together with POPs and alloys. Those 3 basically are king. Let's put it that way. So we want that science. It's very important to us that we get that science because we want to boost our science income. And our engineering research is already at plus 23, which may seem like a lot, but believe me, it is nothing compared to the insane amount of research that we are going to get later on. But yeah, we want to make sure that we have all the research available to us. And every single station as well, as a note, will have a upkeep cost as well. So if we go here, for instance, there's a icon at the bottom that says upkeep 1 energy. So for every single station that we build, it will cost us 1 upkeep. Any energy stations that you build around a planet or a star will not have any upkeep costs. So we're just going to go ahead and build this energy station while we are at it, because by the time our POP grows, we should have enough minerals available to do what we want. All right, Bernard Star has been surveyed, and my God, we have a couple of excellent things here that we can do. Why is my science ship not moving? Why are you not moving, my friend? Okay, well, you should probably be moving over here and actually surveying these 2. Yes, okay, so those are the routes that they were taking. They were not surveying this system for some reason. Not entirely sure why that was. But yeah, as you can see, Bernard Star has potential. It has 8 minerals in it, which is a rather large amount, and we definitely want those minerals. And also, it is on the route to our choke point, which means that Bernard Star, as well as this system right here, which is probably Alpha Centauri, because it has 3 stars in it, yeah, we need that, because for every single system that we expand into, we're going to need to expend a certain amount of influence points. Now, what we could do, for instance, we could colonize this system over here without colonizing this system, or at least claiming it, but it will cost us twice as much influence points, and that's something we want to avoid. So we're just going to go ahead and spend 75 influence points as well as 90 alloys, which is about half of our total income of influence. And we're just going to go out there and take that system. Very important that we do that because, well, we're just going to leave this for now. Because, well, we want to make sure that we take the choke nodes. Now, just now we canceled the surveying of a anomaly here. So our science ship is in the system right now in Polbankir, and it's found a anomaly called the docking hatch. Now, anomalies are special events within the game that will give you potentially special bonuses or new chains of events, etc. In this particular case, considering this is at a key system, and on a choke note that is, we do not want to capture this particular anomaly just yet. We don't want to survey it. We want to survey the whole system first, especially considering there seem to be a lot of asteroids here, which means there is a large amount of minerals to be had here. But we don't want to survey this because it will hold up our science ship for a little bit of time. So for instance, right now it would take us 300 days or 226 days, just under a year of time to survey this, and that would be time taken away from this surveying of this system. And we don't want to do that. We want to survey the system first so we can send a construction ship in and claim it. You cannot claim a system if it hasn't been surveyed 100% yet. And that right there is something important to behold. Now, as I mentioned at the start of the video, there is going to be quite a lot of systems being thrown at us. And right at the start here, 3 things are being thrown at us. One is the anomaly we just spoke about. The second one is the tradition. And the third one is the fact that we have just discovered a continental world in Alpha Centauri. We're going to go and take a quick look here at Alpha Centauri and see what is up with this planet. Okay, so there is a planet over here. If you start up your game, there is a button that says guaranteed habitable worlds nearby, and this is one of them. There should be another one nearby as well, most likely back here or in the choke system. But this one for now will be the first planet that we have discovered. But we don't know anything about it yet because we haven't surveyed it yet, and that right there is a shame. We're going to need to wait for our science ship to be done surveying, and then we can go and take a look at it and see if it has any use for us. Then the third thing that just popped up is the traditions. Now, as of the 2.7 build of the game, traditions have changed a little bit. We'll just go ahead into the menu here. Now, the system itself works exactly the same, except the bonuses that you can get have been changed in general, and that has to do with our edict system. Now, in the past, you could go for expansion, for very, very quick expansion modifiers, and basically say, hey, we're going to get a free pop on our first colony, or colony pop growth speed will increase by 10%. That's a very good one, by the way. But since the addition of the new edict system, a bunch of traditions will unlock new things, such as Discovery right now unlocking Map the Stars, as well as increasing anomaly research speed by 20%. That last bonus was already there, but the edict unlock of Map the Stars is where things get interesting. Discovery by itself is really, really powerful as a standalone, because if you get everything, you will get a research speed bonus of 10%, and again, science is king, together with pops and alloys. So let's go ahead and click the adopt button here on Discovery. You can also go ahead and read through the other ones. Supremacy is also quite good. Diplomacy, if you want to play around with federations. You will. That's also pretty fun. Domination is just for resource output. Same thing with prosperity and harmony. Well, as the name implies, it's harmonious, isn't it? But yeah, we're gonna adopt this Discovery tradition, and we will instantly get access to Map the Stars. Map the Stars is going to be very important for what we are going to do in the very near future. Now, all of our ships are just beavering along here. We found ourselves a First League. Now, the First League is a precursor empire, and every single time you play the game, you will find yourself being given one of these precursor empires, and with every single bonus that you can get with that. The base game has 4 of them. As the game has been expanded over time through DLCs as well as the story packs and stuff like that, multiple new ones have been added. Please be aware that those are also for sale. So yeah, just be aware of that if you want to get a little bit more out of the game once you've played it a couple times. But first of all, we get the First League, which is great because it will give us access to a very special world once the First League chain has finished. This is a storyline chain, and it will have multiple levels on it that we will have to go through. Also, this is not a spaceship. This is a robot hand, and this is a brush. That's right. I always thought it was a spaceship, but now you see it, And that's amazing. And this will automatically get added to our situation log in the list here. As you can see, the first league will be discovered. We need to get 6 artifacts, and then we will find the capital world of the first league. And that right there is pretty important because it will give us access to a new planet. Also, if we decide not to expand outside of this cluster, it means that the first league will spawn somewhere in this area, which means it will be within jump range of our capital world, which is incredibly useful because it will be added to our sector. Once we get to sectors, we will go into a little bit more detail there. All right, so it's time to start taking a look at Bernard's Star. What do we want to do in Bernard's Star? Well, we have enough resources to do whatever we want, but we need to take a look at which of these worlds are deemed useful to put a mining station on. First of all, we got to remember that every single mining station that we build will have a cost of energy, and the more energy that we have, or any resource, the more we have of it, the better. So in this particular case, we're only going to build a mining station on the +6 because it's important, and one on the +2 society research. It will cost us 2 energy in total as well as 200 minerals, but we're not going to touch Bernard Star 2 because we would need to pay 1 energy a turn for 2 minerals, and Bernard Star, that would just be free energy income over time, but we're not going to touch it just yet because we need those minerals for our planet. Let's take a quick look at our planet whilst we are at it and see how our population is doing. We are on the cusp of growth finishing, and that right there is important information because as soon as this pop becomes available, it means that it is ready to start its job. And considering no jobs are available, we're going to need to build a job. Now here is where thoughts within the community kind of go into different directions. Do you build an alloy plant? Do you build a research lab? Or do you build a new district? There's multiple things of ways of thinking about this. If you want to go into full expansion mode, alloys are good because it will allow you to expand more because stations cost alloys. But in my personal opinion, energy research, or at least research in general, is king. Right now we are only generating 20 research a turn, but we could double that almost by building a new research lab, which is exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to build a new research lab, and at the same time, we're going to do something special. By the way, the research lab, it does cost us 400 minerals. Thankfully, we have managed to balance our minerals throughout by not overspending, you diligent player that you are. In addition, you will find yourself with this button over here. It's called Planetary Features. Planetary Features will open up this little window over here. And as you can see, we have a bunch of things that are blocking our planet. And that right there is something we cannot have. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch, it's gotta go. The Industrial Wasteland, it has gotta go. Sure, don't have the money for it right now though. We only want to get rid of the sprawling slums. Why the sprawling slums, you ask? Well, because it will give us a free pop. It will cost us 120 days to do this though, and our research lab is not done yet, so we're just going to wait about 200 days, and then we were going to go and set him loose, because, well, we don't want to, have any idle hands sitting around, let's put it that way. So, 2 years played. Are we already balanced? No, we are not, but at least we are expanding within the galaxy at large. So what can we do from this moment onwards? Well, we've got enough alloys. Tell you what, we're just going to build ourselves another science ship. Just another science ship. It's good because, then we can build more stuff. On top of that, this choke node has been found, and we are going to set this science ship to research the anomaly in this system. We can just do that by right-clicking on the system and then going in. At the same time, it looks like our other science ship in Alpha Centauri has also found themselves a new anomaly. Again, we're going to ignore this anomaly for now because we want to survey the system as fast as possible so we can plop down a claim on it. And it's pretty important. Now our construction ship has moved on. It has decided to move in here. We're going to build another outpost. It's going to go around swimmingly. There he is. And he's going to go and get a badgering away at that particular system. And we're going to go and claim some resources because we have trade value here. Trade value? What is that? Well, we'll talk about that very shortly. Alpha Centauri is doing fine. We've got some 6 minerals here. That right there is pretty good. The 2 energy is pretty reasonable as well. And we found also a derelict shipyard. And that gives us 2 additional engineering research that we can get. And on top of that, our governor has gained a trait. How exciting. Very exciting indeed. And the governor, of course, is the person that is the leader of this particular planet. So please be aware of that. We covered this in the other video. So we have now gotten ourselves a system that is more valuable because we got the anomaly here, and it gave us 3 additional engineering technology, research at least. And that right there is pretty important. So now you may start to think, so why are you not surveying all these other systems? Why are you holding off for now, ASpec? What is the reasoning behind this? We're just going to go ahead and survey this system if we can actually get there. We're going to go ahead and send the science ship over towards this system. Where are you? Okay, so you and survey whilst holding the shift key and survey here and our new science ship. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to assign a leader and just roamer? Really? Well, that is very disappointing. Very disappointing indeed. We're just going to go and hire a leader and take a look at the new list. Leader experience, survey speed. It's not very good. It's not very good at all. Maybe for some of the more expensive ones, this is going to cost me 200 energy though. It is an investment in the long term. There we go, a maniacal researcher. The perfect choice. We're going to put them on our science ship and move them in. Because in the long term, this scientist, because they're maniacal, will give us a bonus research speed of plus 5%. And on top of that, maniacal researchers have a chance of getting access to psionic technology. We're just going to go and get rid of these ones. Sure, they cost us 400 energy in total, but we have enough energy in the bank to do whatever we want. Again, new stuff is being thrown at us. We have another tradition available to us. So what are we going to do? Well, we can go and choose to finish up the discovery tree, or we could go into one of the other trees. In this particular case, I highly, highly, highly recommend to finish up the discovery tree. So, for instance, to boldly go is a very good option, as well as the data uplink bonus that is below it, as well as polytechnic education. These are all just bonuses that we can get by and unlock them over time. Science division is really good because it gives us additional research alternatives and also increases our scientists' levels over time. They can ascend higher. They can get bigger brains, so to speak. So we're just going to go ahead for science division because I believe our science is going to be done in about 2 years. Excellent. Very, very nice. So that is all just coming together just absolutely dandy. Okay, we want to go and grab this station and we will grab this energy whilst we are at it. We're not going to pick up this mineral one just yet. It's not within our grasp. Wow, 12 minerals in this system. This system is shaping up to be extremely good. And we have completely surveyed it, and now we can click on this continental world and see what it's all about. Well, we have a 90% habitability bonus on this planet, which means that our species can live there. For every single percentage that it dips below 100%, you will get hit by a malice. So please be aware, always make sure that the bonus of habitability is high as possible, but also districts that are available, as well as the planetary blockers. Overall, this planet is super generic and will give us access to a lot of food potentially, but also energy as well as mining, and potentially some city districts as well. But considering we've gotten the first league, we don't need to think about Ecumenopole anytime soon. Habitable World Survey is a random event that will pop up. I can definitely say, yes, you should click this. It is automatic and will give you all sorts of cool bonuses over time. Okay, so we are on our way to get all of this stuff going. Excellent. This station is going to get built. It's a research station. It is done. And we are immediately going to move over because we want to get this system as well. And we're going to leave our science ships just floating around for a little bit because they've got more important stuff to do very shortly. And that is surveying these periphery systems. In addition, we are actually going to go into our system here and go into our Starbase tab. by after clicking on the system itself, and hit the upgrade button. Why the upgrade button? Well, it's basically to make sure that we have a nice little choke node fortress here. If anybody tries to move in here, at least this system will be defended. And immediately, we are given more stuff to do. Our scientists have leveled up, which means that they will be better, faster, and stronger. But also we've researched new technologies. And because we've gone down the discovery path, instead of having 3 options, we now have 4. And one of these is not like the others. One of these is incredibly important within the large scale scheme of the game. And that is robotic workers. You thought I would say carrier operations. Oh, well, carrier operations is pretty important. But robotic workers is extremely important. If you're a role player and you're playing as a spiritual empire, you don't want to have any robots, you can ignore this. It's fine. If you're a min-maxer like me, robots, baby, are king. Like the other 3 things that we talked about. We're just going to ignore this here anomaly for the moment. It is not important just yet. We want to make sure that we survey this entire system first. And all of our science ships are just badgering away in this system to make sure that we discover all of its delectable secrets. And we're just going to go ahead and considering the surveying in the system is done, so you can see our science ship is basically sleeping. We're going to right click here and research the anomaly in this system and the anomaly in this system. Whilst we are in the process of claiming this one over here. Most excellent. Most excellent. Good. Good. Alright, so we will have one science ship that is not doing anything. And we're not going to send it out to survey anything. Instead, we are going to go out and explore with it. Yes, we are going to explore with it. Why are we going to explore with it? Because we want to make first contact. We want to make first contact with another species. And once again, I'm hitting the shift key and just and just clicking onto new objectives, and that will basically mean the science ship will start moving from system to system in order to find new stuff. And there we go, we got ourselves another tradition. It's time for polytechnic education, because then our leaders will level faster, and it gives us access soon to faith in science, which basically means that every single pop that is working in science will have their upkeep reduced. And considering our species, if we take a quick look here, a bunch of them are working in research labs. It means that the bulk of our population is working in research labs, at least for specialists. It means that they have lower upkeep costs. And this is kind of how all the systems interconnect and why the choices are the ones that I'm making here. Okay, cool. All right, we got ourselves some more research. We went for a technology bonus. Ooh, genome mapping. Yeah, give it to me. All the other options here are decent. Planetary unification is really good because it gives us access to new edicts, which we will talk about very shortly. But we want the pop growth speed because this one is a permanent feature here. And these ones are all randomly rotated in and out. And we definitely want to get that pop growth speed. And we get more events. Ooh, we get more science. How very exciting. And we are also about to finish administrative AI, which is going to increase our science research speed even more. How very exciting. So as you can see, we have now claimed this system here in Alpha Centauri. We have a construction ship on standby, and our construction ship is basically going to go ahead and claim these 2 mining stations because 12 minerals, that is just over a quarter of our current mineral income. That's a huge boon to us. So we definitely want to go and do that. And it's going to keep our construction ship busy for a little while. But at the same time, considering the system is now surveyed, it means that we can claim our first planet. We hit the colonize button up here. It's very straightforward. We are going to go and build ourselves a colony ship. It will cost us 200 food, 200 alloys, and 200 consumer goods. And because we haven't been expanding like crazy, we have the alloys in the bank to just build ourselves a colony. We're going to give it a name. What would be a cool planet name here? Yeah, like and subscribe is a cool name for a planet. And then immediately a ship will be built over at our shipyard. Another way of doing this is as soon as the system has been found, we will keep this here for a second. I'm just going to put this to the side. As soon as a system has been found with a planet inside of it, you can build a colony ship straight away and just send it over and just hover over the planet that is interesting. And as soon as it's ready for colonization, you just slap that bad boy on there. It saves time. It's a bit more efficient. And of course, it means your pops have more time to grow, which means that you will have pops quicker. And that right there is pretty important. We just had a special event pop up. It's called the Giant Skeleton, and basically it's a little bit little event, and we will create a special project. How exciting! A special project called the Investigate the Giant Skeleton. My lord, let's click on our science ship here because it has a special project to do here on this planet. It will take us 180 days, and we're going to get a bunch of science out of this, and at the same time, we have research speed discovered. How very exciting! Now, here we have a couple of interesting options in our physics department. We could go for automatic exploration, which, if you're a new player, go ahead for automatic exploration. It really alleviates your what's the word I'm looking for here? Micro of your science ships. I personally like to be very specific about which systems I want to survey, especially considering at the start of the game here. I think that is very important. But in this particular case, you know, you could just go ahead and click this. You will get a special upgrades to your science ships, and you can hit a button, and they will just go out there in the wild yonder. You don't have to look at them ever again, except for the anomaly pop-ups, and that's basically it. But in this particular case, I'm going to go for the colony development speed because it's relevant to our current situation. But yeah, if you are a new player, go ahead and go for automated exploration protocols. 45 months until this science is done. And of course, because of all the bonuses we are getting, things are going to go very smoothly. And as you can see, our scientists have completely filled up this slot. But our scientists are also using consumer goods. And that right there is something that is not good. Not good at all. Not good at all. But wait, where's this trade value that was in this system? It's gone. Well, there's a reason for that. It's because we build ourselves a station. Now, there is a very special button on the UI down here, and that is this one. It's called the Trade Route Map Mode. If we click this, we will see little arrows of trade value being moved from A to B. Now, considering we have a station in this system, it means it will automatically start collecting trade value, which is 5. Of course, our capital is generating 15, which is rather good. It also means that in total, 20 trade value is being turned into 20 energy. So you can see here on our list, trade is 20 of our energy income. Now, considering our consumer goods are pretty low, we can change this. We can use our trade value, and instead of turning it into energy, we can turn it into consumer goods, at least a certain amount of it. So we're just going to go to our policy screen here, and we are going to go to our trade policy. In the trade policy window, we will see what our trade value is used for. So wealth creation, for instance, every single unit of trade value earns us 1 energy. However, we want consumer benefits, where trade value is generating only 0.5 energy, so half our income right now, which would be 10, which means that we will have 15 energy income shortly once we click this, and we will get more consumer goods. So that would give us like 2 or 3 consumer goods depending on how the rounding works. There's also marketplace of ideas. If you're going to go heavy into trade value, I got the first league as you saw, which means that I can go very heavily into trade value. It means that you can click this one and get more unity, which you can then use to augment your tradition unlocking speed. But like I mentioned, we're going to go into consumer goods. We're going to hit the yes button, and as the month will tick over into the next one, we should probably also set this bad boy to go over here. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so now we only have 10 trade instead of 20 because of our consumer goods. Our special project is done. We get new physics research, and our scientist is now smarter. And that's good. That is very good. Meanwhile, our other science ship is just floating around space. They are not surveying anything. and are trying to find a new alien species that we can create communication with, because it could get, that means we'll get additional influence. Why do we need additional influence? Because we need map the stars. Why do we need map the stars? Because, well, if we have map the stars, this is a permanent thing that is on and will cost us 150 influence. Once we enable it, there is a 10% chance that we will find an anomaly in any system that we survey. And 10% may not seem like a lot, but anomalies are so valuable that every single bonus of percentages that we can get is a huge deal. We don't want to miss out on that bonus, which is also another reason why, if we go into our traditions here, that we go down the discovery path, because it gives us bonuses to these sort of things. In addition, if we can get a scientist on one of our ships that is in fact a surveyor, which we still don't have, which is a real shame, then we can get even more anomaly bonuses potentially attached to our stuff, which is also extremely important. We're going to go ahead and send one of our science ships back to Earth to assist research by right-clicking on the planet and basically selecting the research button. And as you can see it right here, we are on the verge of colonizing our very first world. 7 years into the game. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Could be a little bit quicker, but obviously we were moving along a little bit on the less pacier side. And that right there wraps up our very first episode of the first years within the game. We have set our foundations. We know what to do. You've seen some of the ways that you can go ahead and survey. You can go out there, survey every single system you want. Go right ahead. You don't need to do exactly everything the way I do it. However, looking at this particular video, you should get a good understanding of what you can do within the game. The galaxy is your oyster. There are so many things, so many options that are available. I myself are a min-max player. I like to go for optimal results. If you are a role player, you just want to do what happens to pop up in your mind, go right ahead. Like I've said, the galaxy is your oyster. Make sure that you leave a comment below if you have any questions regarding this particular video, about my decision making, about some of the things that you've seen and you're like, I don't really understand what's going on, ASpec. What is this thing? And I will gladly drop a comment below to help you out. In addition, I want to thank my patrons for making this video possible. It is very important. It wouldn't be possible without you guys to make these series of videos, especially in the current economic climate, let's put it that way. And I want to thank you so much for making all that stuff possible. If you're interested, if you're a new viewer, you don't need to become a patron. Don't worry about that sort of thing. If you are somebody who has been watching for a long time, you're like, you know what, ASpec, I've been blocking ads all the time, but I still want to throw you some bucks. Yeah, become a patron. But don't worry about it too much. It's not the end of the world. We're going to go and wrap this up here. Thank you so much for watching. There are more videos in this series coming up. I've selected a couple of videos that are currently on your screen for you to take a look at. It includes the video about all the basics, as well as a playlist regarding the expansions and which ones are good and which ones you should potentially be taking a look at if you are looking for certain mechanics within the game and you're like, I wonder if this is in here. And then you can see at our expansion list to see if they're actually there or not. But yeah. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, take good care. And as always, remember, the galaxy is dark and full of wonder.